Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath. It's so good to share energy with you today. Thank you for inviting me in. Come on in. Have a seat, girlies. Have a stay. If you're interested in working with me, you can find any of the information you need in the website information and linked down below in the description box. Any channel messages or songs that I come up with during this video will be linked there upon its upload. All right, guys, thank you for inviting me in. I have a little something different, if you can't tell, from my attire today. So, this is a highly requested video that I have not really understood the context and the framework of how to make, and then my angels dispatched in beautiful helpers and made sure that it was requested and suggested, and so here we are. I've had a lot of you guys ask me about makeup in the comments over the years that we have been hanging out and spending time and evolving together. And so today I have appointments to get to, and I have a dinner to go to, and I have things to do. It's the holiday time. Some of you guys have got a post office and UPS to head to. Parcels are heading out to some of you guys that have been on the nice list and not the naughty list. So the parcels are going out in the mail today, so be on the lookout for those. For those of you that I've already communicated with, tracking incoming your way shortly. So for my friends, family, and collective that are here watching, I am going to do something that I believe is divinely guided, and we're going to do a dolled up download. That's the name that my angels gave me, dolled up download. So what we're going to do is a little bit of chat about makeup, but I'm also going to be talking to you about the message for today, which I think is very apropos since you're going to watch me put on my glow up face, okay? And the message for today, I wrote it down as they channeled it for me. They said, Earth angels, your glow up is directly proportional to the degree that others try to hold you down. All right, Earth angels, your glow up is directly proportional to the degree that others try to hold you down. They've been working with me on this theme this is going to drive me crazy. They've been working with me on this theme for a while, guys, and it's been something that's been in my heart for the collective, especially over the last year, because a lot of you guys put a lot of self-work into you and doing what you needed to do. So I am braving the interwebs here because I'm nobody's beauty guru. I'm not going to be doing this in the right order or way, but I'm going to talk about the things that work for me and whatever else the angels want to say. And we're going to start with a prepared and based face. To be very fair and transparent. I know beauty gurus are renowned for telling the biggest white lies and the outright lies and fibs. We don't do that over here on this corner of the internet, sis. We tell the truth. So I have a base face, but I'm going to talk to you about what I based it with. We're going to get into first lips, and then after I talk about what I based it with, we'll get into the message. So the base for anybody when you're doing it, start with a clean face. So I've started my day, brushed my teeth, flossed, scraped my tongue. Are y'all scraping your tongues? Scrape your tongues. Scrape my tongue and showered and the whole thing. So I started with a face wash. What are you guys using? Comment below if you're interested in sharing. For me, I use a bit of Fenty. I also use some product from Juvia's Place, but Fenty's kind of my go-to. She has a beautiful cherry scented facial scrub and makeup remover kind of in one, and I really like it. It's not harsh. It doesn't leave me feeling like tight. You know how facial scrubs can leave you. And so I also have other routines that I do with facial scrubs and all the rest of it. And lip scrubs, really important for the proper adhering of your lipstick. We'll talk about that here shortly. So I base my face. So that means that when I'm done with my shower, I'm using Fenty Skin Hydro Razor, and it has an invisible moisturizer, broad spectrum, and an SPF 30 sunscreen. So I'm using Fenty as my lotion, and this is the refill. I just popped it out of the bottle. The refill, it comes in like a gray bottle. I do wish you'd use brighter colors. As a West Indian woman, I love my colors, so I hate that the makeup industry in America is so like one color. Also, this does have a scent, just so you guys know. I love that, and also as a West Indian woman, I appreciated that. West Indian cultures and East Indian cultures specifically are used to highly scented cosmetics. So think of K.L. Lee, the founder of the K.L. Lee perfume brand and all the rest of it. And so it's very strange that in America there's a whole thing about like we want non-scented, and I get that for my non-scented girlies, people that are sensitive and whatever, but girl, bring on the scents for me. I want to smell good, and we'll be talking about that. Stay tuned. I have something coming up for you guys here regarding my favorite things for the end of the year. And it's a wide array of things, from foods to cosmetics to whatever the angels say. I've accumulated the list to a certain degree, but I start with that. So after my face is clean and washed, I'm doing my lotion. Okay, so just a little bit, a dab will do ya. With this, it goes a long way, but you really need that to get your makeup to adhere. Now, fun fact, I did not start wearing makeup until my 30th year. Okay, it was at my first Saturn return. So all the time I was barefaced with an Afro puff. That was my life for all of my life as an adult until in the last 10 years or so. And I learn makeup from here on the YouTube streets, and that's why I'm like, anybody can do this. If I can do it, you can do it, because my mom did not sit down and show me. I did not have like good girlfriends in high school that were like, girl, because we weren't really wearing makeup like that. People did, but it was pretty basic. It is not what it is today, and that we were not Sephora kids. As you guys know, the internet has made us all aware of who they are and how they do. So in any case, I learned makeup here, just like you can too, if you're interested in doing it. From the millions, I feel like there might be at least 100,000 MUAs, makeup artists, makeup artists. Yes, MUAs. I'm trying to add more letters and acronyms to it. But here on YouTube, or beauty gurus, whatever you want to call it. Now, there's one trick, stay tuned, for the eyes that I learned from a fabulous African content creator who changed my eye makeup game forever, and I'm going to not gatekeep. I'm going to share it with you, just like she did not gatekeep with me, because I was always wondering, how do you make this last? All right, stay tuned for that. So after I have put on my lotion, Fenty Skin, then the next thing I'm doing is a primer, and that is so important for your makeup to stay. Now, when I get compliments on my makeup all the time when I go out, and it's because my makeup stays exactly the way that I put it on in the house. Okay, exactly the way that I put it on in the house is how it stays. And so what you need to know about that is you need a primer. Now, you need to find a primer that works for you. I have here one of my favorite adorable primers. It is the Butter, it's Beauty Bakery, and it's called the Butter Hydra Silk Primer, okay? And it is so good, and it looks like that, but it also looks literally like a stick of butter, and it's just, like, can you even stand it, guys? It literally looks like a stick of butter. It's so good, like with the cutting, the tablespoon measures on it and everything. Beauty Bakery, the butter stick. So anyway, I like this because you can easily glide it on. It's great for travel. It fits into your purse, whatever the case may be. But my oldie and my goodie, and the one that never ever fails me, is one that is cheap. And let me tell you, I have everything from Kayali to L'Oreal, to all of them. I try them all because specifically for my melanated ladies out there, the white cast is an issue, and you know, makeup did not care about us till recently. Thank you, Rihanna. That's why I'm so supportive of her brand. She really made inclusivity important in makeup. Before that, we had MAC, and that was about it, right? And it was like, get it how you live, and we had to become chemists in the kitchen to kind of make our makeup work for us. So you need to figure out what works for you. But I'm going to tell you, this is my secret weapon. It's Angel Veil. This is a cheap, with a rose gold cap. This is a cheap, and it's like well worn with some marks on it, because y'all, I use this all the time. And it's NYX. So you can find this. It used to be like $7, $8. It might be up to $14 now. Inflation is real. And you can find this at Ulta, okay? You can find a lot of these things that I'm mentioning at Ulta or Sephora. Y'all know how to shop for makeup if you're into makeup. So a little bit of this goes a long way. And it will look like it's a white cast at first, but it literally blends away if you don't use too much. And this is the hold, because I need a mattifying dry hold. I have an oily type of skin, so I don't want to be glowy at all. I don't want no glows, okay? I glow below. That's what my motto is for me. I use a lot of shimmer, sparkle, spritzy, and or hand applied things. A lot of my lotions, some of the Sol de Janeiro, I have one specifically that will be in the favorite things, so we'll talk about that. There has a bit of a mica in it. I have some Fenty product here that if I'm really like turning it up for dinner tonight, I will rub this on my skin. This is a Fenty highlighter, and this Fenty highlighter is fantastic for literally like just it's literally called Diamond Bomb, I believe. What is it? The Diamond Bomb? Let me look and see. Is it on the inside? Yeah, it's Diamond Bomb or Diamond something. Anyway, y'all, this Fenty highlighter is amazing, and I will literally take it and rub it on my chest and skin to glow. Because what I'm trying to look like is how whoever wrote Bella, you know what I'm talking about, those vampires that sparkle, that's what I'm trying to look like, okay? Except an angel. Except an angel. She was a fairy. She was an angel. I'm trying to look like that, okay? So if I don't look like that, then I want no parts of it. So I always glitter and glow. I remember once going to play a game night somewhere, and the lady that was sitting next to me, she was like, "Are you sparkling?" And I was like, "Yes, bitch, I am." I am in fact sparkling. Okay, so you need your primer. We've talked about 2 choices for you that I highly recommend: Beauty Bakery and for convenience, but then the Angel Veil, it's never gonna fail you. It's never let mama down, ever, okay? So once that's done, now we have a skin that is ready, and then foundation. Now here's the thing, because this video is specifically focused on the 2 areas and I have a time place to go and be today, my face is base, which means I've started with those things and I have put on my foundation. I would not normally do that. That is not normally the order of operations that you are to do things when you're doing them in the makeup guru and beauty world. You would usually put on your foundation after you've done your eyes. The reason being is that you can sometimes have fallout from your eyeshadow, and it's a perfect way to clean it up so that way you can make everything look absolutely crisp. So right now, I've not done my eyebrows. We're going to do that together. I've not done my eyeshadow. That's the magic. We're going to do that together. I have not done my lips. We're going to do that together. But I have put on those 3 layers, actually 4. If you include, did I grab it? Did I grab it? I did. Pardon me, guys. I have a bag because I have bought it out. I will see it in 2 minutes. I have concealer, Tarte concealer, Shape Tape. It's somewhere in here. Anyway, we'll find it and I'll show it to you at another tutorial. I thought I had it, but I do not have it out here. So there's concealer under the eyes, like all ladies do. We're always keeping that under control. And then what I'm putting on is my this concealer, my absolute concealer. So, not concealer, excuse me, my foundation. I put concealer under the eyes, foundation on my face. This is MAC. I'm a MAC girl through and through. You need to find what's right for you. Like I said, Fenty is fantastic at inclusivity, and because of Fenty's pioneering work, the whole beauty industry had to catch up, because it was like ketchup, mustard. They had to catch up before they got left behind, because Rihanna was coming for all of our coins and all of our dimes, okay? Because she did something especially for melanated ladies of color of any part of the diaspora, any Latinos. Everybody was Latina. Everybody was able to go saunter on over and run the town tonight, like Rihanna wanted us to do. But I'm going to tell you one thing about me is I stayed tried and true to MAC. Here's the thing, MAC was what we had back in the day, back in my day, guys. Back when I was 70, you know, like we had to walk both ways up the hill to the Sephora. This is all they had for us, okay? And so I had to figure it out. So I figured out my color. You have to foundational match yourself. You have to figure that out. But what I like about this is it also has an SPF 15. This makeup was for the girls that were doing literally drag, but also models. So this had to hold up to hot lights and a long day. And some days, my days are like that, especially when I travel. I really like my face to be as it is. And one of the compliments, and I'm not just saying this is what I'm saying, let's work together, sis, is when I get on a plane, flight attendants, I've never not had flight attendants stop me and say your makeup looks amazing. And that's because they're used to seeing people after a full day of traveling. And the reason my makeup looks amazing, yes, I understand color theory and putting on makeup after I've been here on these YouTube streets. I also used to paint, guys, too, so that's just a little background for you. I've painted for many years and did art shows and stuff like that. So I have an understanding of how to put colors together. However, you can learn this whether you've ever picked up a paintbrush or not. One of the things that matters about your makeup is that it's staying, and that it looks, you know, good. It looks fresh, and that it holds up. And travel will make you look crazy, okay? Everybody knows. And usually we're comfortable, but I actually dress up for travel. And when I say dress up, I dress like I dress every day, and maybe that's always dressed up. Come to think about it. But the reason that I do that is because it's a lovely experience, and I'm manifesting And my moon's in Taurus. For those of you guys that don't know, now you know. That's a lot of yapping for the base, but you get it. My moon's in Taurus. That means I have a Venusian bent to me. I like the way things feel and seem. I like the aesthetics of a thing, okay? So that's my base. Those are my three or four. You didn't see the shape tape because I couldn't find it in my little baggie, maybe before the end of the video. But that's how I start. Now let's get into the lips so you have something pretty to look at while I'm talking, sis, and we're going to get into the message here shortly. The lips for me are also important. I'm not a gloss girly. I could be a gloss girl if I'm going to like walk outside walking or grounding or something of that nature. But I, in the last several years, have really just transferred over to a lip that is going to stay. One of the things that bothered me about lipstick is how it always got in your teeth and it always was like smear and it could go away. I have no time for that. I talk too much. And I talk too much on camera. I'm on Zoom readings and meetings and stuff like that all the time with clients. I need to be set. So I don't have time for a lot of touch-ups. So my thing is matte. The thing that turned me on to matte lipstick was Milani. Now I have a actual lipstick here of Milani that I really enjoy, but I learned about them with their wands and tubes. Right now I have the lip bar, which is fantastic. And then I also have here some Beauty Bakery as well. But all of my lipsticks are matte. There is no other lipstick that I use. That's just me. And that's just what I do. And so I'm going to talk to you about the technique that I learned from one of the greats of beauty, Marilyn Monroe, who was channeling all of that Venusian energy. And Marilyn Monroe ombre'd her lips. And you'll notice that so many of us do it. But I really paid attention to that technique. And it works well for me because we don't look at things in 2D. We look at it in 3D. So yes, you can put on just a red lip. And I have done that before and look great. But if I have a moment to do it, then a moment I will take to do an ombre. The other major secret to fantastic makeup application is a proper mirror, okay? Is a proper mirror, a lighted mirror very specifically, okay? So we are going to use this. Now, this is a Simply Human mirror, guys. And what I'm going to tell you about it is the engineering is crap. It doesn't do what it says it's supposed to do. It's supposed to stay up. It slides down in a way that you don't want it to. It just does all kinds of wild stuff. However, I've talked to so many people, makeup artists, friends that have used this. Everyone loves this mirror because the light is like no other. So we all deal with the flaws. And I keep hoping they redesign it. And I can't wait to get to like 5.0. It's like the iPhone. This I got many years ago, and so it's been through the trenches. I even have a travel smaller companion that comes in a little zippy case, and I actually like that one better because the light stays on. The light is sensitive and it adjusts to the way that you touch it. I'll show you here. So I'm going to turn it on at the bottom, and then when you turn it on, the green light comes on. Oh, you didn't see that. Let's see. When you turn it on, the green light comes on. Let's see. Red light, if you can see that. Now green light. Green light. So it's ready to go. And then it is light. It is motion sensitive. So when you get close to it, you see, whoo, that light is so serious. Okay. Now what I love about this is you can turn it down with touch on the side. Yes. We're in magic land, guys, and that's why everyone puts up with this nonsensical mirror. Listen, Simply Human stuff is so good. It's so good. I have their trash cans. I have other appliances, household appliances. They are the best of the best of the best in rose gold. Fantastic. And for this feature, you deal with the stress. Because when I do my makeup with this, that's when everyone's like, you look so good, sis. Because I can see what I'm doing, okay? Doesn't matter what age you are. We all need light. Let there be light. All right. So we're gonna see if we can do this here on camera. I'm gonna set it down here so you're seeing all of me. Oh, it's so bright. But I'm seeing all of me too. Okay, I have to just throw my hair up as one does when they're doing their makeup. Today, I'm going to be using the Beauty Bakery. The color is, and that you see how the light turns off? It's a pain. It's such a pain, guys. But let's see. Oh, holiday season. Cranberry Stiletto. So I'm starting with the outline first. So I'm not going to talk as I'm doing this. And we're going to get this right because this matters. How you set your lips is everything. And I do my lips before I really do anything. It's maybe my eyes first and lips, either way, depending on how I'm feeling that day. All right, guys. Now for me, I am a girly who doesn't overline because Jesus gave me the big lips that I needed and I love them and they are divine. You do what you do. I have a feeling about overlining. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. If you're doing it, do it well, okay? My theories for lips is M&M. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. If you don't get your lips right, having to start over is just such a pain in the ass. I also like the doe foot that is on the Beauty Bakeries thing. It's a really nice doe foot application. Holds a lot of product. Alright, so what I do is I bring it down just a little bit because I'm using this cranberry stiletto as my outline. Paying a special attention not to overline my Cupid's bow. You can draw one in if you don't have one. Or accentuate what you do. So what I'm doing is a little bit of blurring almost of this. Now it's already drying. That's the thing about matte lipstick. You got to work fast. Now if I was going out and not having a long day, then this is what I would be using. This is a creamy application, but it's still a matte lipstick. And the blend is so beautiful because you can really just, oh, I might do it. Am I going to do it? I'm going to do it. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All right, I just love, let's see. I don't know. See, I don't love how bright. I don't think that that's bright enough, actually. So, I'm going to wipe that off a little bit. And I'm going to go in with the one, let's see, which one am I going to use? This is the lip bar, and the lip bar one is It Girl. Okay, so it's It Girl. Can you guys see that? Is it gonna focus? It Girl. It Girl. Anyway, it's pink. It's like hot pink. So that's the ombre that I'm gonna go in with. You guys see how this mirror is playing games with my mind and my life? All right. Yeah, that's the brightness I want today. All right. Okay. Alright. So we do the thing that all of us do when we get it on. Is just kind of rub your lips together. What I don't want is a major line of delineation that you can see. So I'm just trying to blend some of that in because I was moving a little too slow because I chose the other lip first. Put on a little bit more here now that one's dried in. The thing about this is, when you're doing the matte lipstick, is you have to be very careful because you do not want to overcake it because then it will like flake off. With a very little application like I just did, you're going to have a great, it's going to be great. And right now, it just looks like, wow, that's intense. It does. But once the makeup is set, once we've added blush and some other things, then we're pulling it all together. Also, the hair, like whatever accessories you're wearing. Today, this is the shirt that I'll be wearing, but I will be wearing some like pink kind of hair accessories. And so that's going to accentuate the look as well. Okay, so we've got lipstick, and now let's get into the message. 24 minutes. See, this is a test run, y'all. So y'all are here for the Pioneer dolled up download session. So let's see how it goes. Back to what they said. They said, Earth Angels, your glow up is directly proportional to the degree that others try to hold you down. Here's what you need to know. Next thing we're going to go in with is the eyebrow. So let's get our eyes together so there's going to be some life here, okay? So the next thing we're going to go in with is the eyebrow. And I have my bag of pencils and things of that nature. And I go in with a pretty basic eyeliner, just an auto eyeliner that you can find at anybody's Ulta or Dollar Tree, even if you need to, if you're in a pinch, and a spoolie. Those two are your holy grail for doing fantastic work with your makeup. Also, guys, I'm going to tell you something else. Just get a load of these brushes. I love Beauty Bakery because the attention to detail is top tier. This is some of Beauty Bakery's brushes right here, right? But the fun part, it's business on one end and then party on the other. Look at it. It's spatulas and it's whisk and it's all of that. It's so good, sis. So good. So if you enjoy makeup and the art of it, make it fun in every way. Okay, so let me get out my little favorite brush for my detail, for my contour. Did I get out my, yes I did. And what's the other thing I need? Spoolie. I'm too messy and I'm too That song's been stuck in my head. We are a duality, guys. All right, so let's do this and talk about that. When you're dealing with people that have tried to, first thing you might want to do, let me grab my spoolie. I just took her out. I have an oldie but a goodie spoolie. How many of you guys have that spoolie you've had forever? I do have that. But since we're coming out for the folks, we're going to play nice and do the nicer spoolie. The nicer one. My old one has been through the trenches. First, brush out your eyebrows. Okay? Whatever you want to do for you, everybody does their brush out and their eyebrow brush out differently. Everyone has different ways that they want to do that. You know, pluck your eyebrows, do all the things you do to get them ready. The other thing is, guys, too, there's this trend right now where everybody's like combing their eyebrows up, and to me they all look like the Grinch off of Jim Carrey. I mean, that's just me. I know everyone's doing it because it's what's done, and eyebrows, if you don't know, go in trends. So sometimes we're plucking them till they're really thin. Sometimes we want them really bushy like back in the 80s. Sometimes we want them completely brushed and stuck to our face. There are so many things. I like it to be more of a natural look, and it works for me. You do whatever. You don't want to say that natural. I like my eyebrows to go in the direction that they're going. I just make it like more, contoured and shaped up a little bit. So we'll talk about that. When you're dealing with people that have not wished you well and that have thought, like they had an idea of who you are and where you could be. And we all hear about glow ups. Like everybody talks about, it's your glow up season, sis, and it's this and it's that. Well, let's talk about the spiritual principles of what that means. When you're dealing with a glow up, what you're having happen is actual growth, and it could come in the form of beauty, it could come in the form of career, it could come in the form of finances, it could come in the form of health. But what my angels downloaded to me is that it comes, and see, that's pretty rough right now. I was like, that's intense, but we're gonna do some things. All right, so what happens is that what I do is I draw just on the bottom, just so you know, and maybe a little bit at the top, and then I use the spoolie to fill it in so it actually matches my hair. And it's intense right now, but we're gonna get there, and it actually matches my hair so that it's not so intense. And then once some other things are added, you'll see. Okay, but when you're going through that, what I've noticed, especially with my clients, is that what happens for you in your glow up happens because you have been put into probably a position where people did not think that you were capable of something, did not think that what you're achieving is going to happen. And your angels have a funny way of allowing you. And it reminds me of my favorite Bible verse. God will set a table before you in the presence of your enemies. What it happens is that your angels will literally allow you to look like you are down bad, super down bad, sis. And then right in front of the people that doubted you, that maligned you, that gossiped about you, that talked about you, that undermined you, guess what happens? You glow up. It's up and it's stuck. And that happens because, one, a lot of earth angels are inspirations for people, whether we understand it or not. And it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't feel fair, and we're like, okay, I didn't get the memo on the assignment that I need to be an inspiration for everybody down here. Well, it's not that you need to be an inspiration for everybody down here, but it is to say that we usually will stick to the plan, whatever that is, so that God can have God's way. And that's one of my favorite things about us is our fortitude and our ability to actually do what we are called to do. And when we are called to move in a certain way, we do. And that means that some people are judging you. It means that some people are looking at you. It means that some people are thinking you're never going to amount to anything, or I don't see the best for you, or I am actually wishing less of you. This glow up is especially important if anybody's ever made you their designated ugly anything. Now, for me, it could be fat friend. For you, it could be smart friend. It could be nerdy friend. It could be poor friend. You make your own acronyms of whatever your story was, but people have a way that they like to judge. Is that not true? And so that glow up season happens for you because your angels watch you do the work that you needed to. The next step is that I underline my eyebrows. Remember when I was doing the super boxy eyebrow? I don't really cut the top at all, just underline. I like it nice and crispy, and then I blend it in with the thing that I was telling you to stay tuned for, which is the secret recipe, the sauce, the dressing, and the absolute blessing that was given to me by that MUA all those years ago here on these YouTube streets. But I take a little bit of a dark concealer, a little bit of a concealer cream foundation, and it's just something I got from the beauty store, and I just stock up on it. I buy like 10 at a time so I never run out. You can see which one I use all the time. It's this color over here, and so find what works for you. There is no rhyme or reason, but this step is, I think, important if you like your eyebrows to be, you know, especially on melanated women. I think we really pull it off especially well. Okay. That's the magic of this mirror, girl. It's like mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Me. It's me. You win when you have this mirror. It's so fantastic. The light is pristine. All right. So I take, now for me, remember I said I was a painter. I have proper brushes. This is literally a paintbrush because I find that the angle and the cut of it is so ferocious. I can't top it with any brush. And I have hundreds of brushes. No exaggeration, y'all. You know how we did back in the brush day when Jacqueline Hill was getting all of us, right? And Jeffree Star were ruling the roost out here, and James Charles. We were buying brushes like we lost our damn mind. So I apply that, and it's one time. I don't go back and forth over it too much. It's like a swipe in the right direction, and then in the brush I trust, okay? All right. So when that glow up season happens, people will not see it coming. And also, what predicates that glow up season is you feeling like the need to hermit, okay? Meaning, like, I need to go away. I need to be away from these hoes. These hoes ain't loyal. That's what I just channeled by Chris Brown. These hoes ain't loyal. They are not loyal. And they're also not rooting for you. In fact, they're rooting against you, especially if they had any acronyms to designate you as the friend that was not going to survive, thrive, stay alive, whatever the case may be. That's what they like to see, and that's what they had relegated you to. They did not see you as a beauty. God has special plans for you, especially if that's the course of action that's happened for you, and if that's a trajectory that you've been on. Now, what I'm doing is bringing this down just a little bit to the first top part of my eyelid, because now we're about to get into the part that is the magic, sis. This is where we take off, and it's absolutely incredible. Incredibly. All right. So people have an idea of where you will stay, and in that place they want you to stay, and they don't want you to move in any kind of way. And they have no aspirations for you, and they have no hope for you, and they may have gone out of their way to sabotage you. And when that happens, it's very disconcerting and it's very disorienting, but it's part of the fool's journey. It's part of our spiritual journey. It's how we grow, and it's how we up level, and it's how we actually get to know ourselves better. It's how we learn how to read people better and learn how to discern narcissists and terrible folks alike that come into our purview to any degree. We learn so much, and we figure out our strategy. Speaking of the secret sauce that you've all been waiting for. eye makeup, when you put it on directly on your face, if you don't prime. I have put primer all over my face, including my eyelids. And there is eye primer that they sell, but they're getting you, sis. Please go to your local Ulta and find Makeup Revolution, which is so cheap, okay? And find the whitest white. And I don't care if you are Caucasian. You can find one in your color if you want to. But for my melanated ladies, this is going to sound antithetical, right? To us, especially to you. You're going to be like, girl, I'm not putting white on my face. That's bananas. Every single time you see me on this screen for the last several years that you've known me, this is what you've seen. But you didn't know it. And this is what makes your makeup and your eye makeup last in a way that's majestic all day, okay? Because think about painting a house. If you paint a house, Kills is like one of the #1 primers in the home improvement stores. Kills goes onto the wall, and it's either a white or green or pink, depending on what color they base it. But it makes magic for the paint that goes over it, so that you're not painting forever and ever trying to get a saturated color. I once had a friend who painted her kitchen like this fuchsia, intense pink, and fuchsia almost red. And she did not use Kills, and then her husband said, hey, did you not prime? Then she primed, and then it was one time that we were painting. I helped her with that. So what I'm going to tell you is, after I found this, I never looked back. Thank you to the creator. If I can find her channel, I will link her below. She was fantastic. She has a chocolate skin, girl, that glows and glows. That's my favorite complexion. You know what's so funny? We all want to be what we're not, right? For me, I'm more like a milk chocolate, but girl, chocolate is my favorite. Like, people, like, it's so funny, I've dated people before and they were thinking that I was fetishizing them, and I'm like, no. Like, truly, I absolutely feel like chocolate people are like the gods of the world. Okay, like the dark chocolate, like the goddesses of the world. I literally go out in the sun. I grew up in the Keys, and I would tan because I would want to be like blue black. And I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm telling you, that was my actual, because then I had no blemishes, I had no scars, I had no acne. It was just magic, man. The skin was popping. Our melanin is amazing. For anybody here that's Caucasian, God bless you. You guys get to tan too. But I just fell in love with my melanin, as I suggest all of us do. Fall in love with the skin that we're in. But those chocolate goddesses, their skin is skinning, okay? And she's a chocolate goddess. Anyway, what's her name start with? I think it's a Y. Y'all might know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so you get the Makeup Revolution, and this is a full coverage, magic light. This is a full coverage foundation, and from London, and I'm trying to see if I can find the color that it is. I don't know. I think this says FO, but excuse me. I used to get the little little tubes, and it was like C0 or 1. It's like as white could be. Get the whitest white that you will ever see. All right, that's what you need. And then what we're gonna do is, remember, I used that cream concealer here. Damn, I am not a beauty guru. I'm working through, though, y'all. We're working through. We're learning together. We're making it work together, okay? So that cream concealer that I have underneath my eyebrow, which I made really crispy, I'm going to blend it down with the white, and you will see. So what we're going to have is an ombre. And then we're going to do another trick that I highly suggest if you're into it. Not all of us like shimmers, not all of us like mattes. You have to decide what your makeup is. I use a little bit of both because, again, we don't look at things in 2D. 3D is much more interesting to us, okay? So what I do is I take it. It has a doe foot wand that holds a lot of product. You see how gloopy that is? That's a bit too much, so I scrape it off. And then I dot it on my eye, sis. Right above my eye. Boom. Bam. Bam. That's what we're working with. Crazy, right? It's crazy. But we're going to keep blending it. And while we're blending, we're going to keep talking about what you need to know as you get ready to glow. What you need to know as you get ready to glow is that people will discourage you from glowing. What you need to know as you get ready to glow is that you need to keep your glow secret. What you need to know, what I mean by that, is your glow up secret. If you have a glow up strategy, if you're hitting the gym, if you're working on a business, if you're building a thing, you need to incubate that thing. Now, that's just a metaphysical principle, because when people hear about whatever it is that you're doing, it is very possible that they will want to discourage you from doing said thing. I highly suggest too, as a back to the makeup tip here, is I've somewhat blended this in, but it's pretty raw. I'm going to go to the other one before this dries down, and then we'll have plenty of time to still blend, because remember, we're meeting a cream concealer, so it's still actively malleable and workable, okay? So this will dry down though, because this dries down very matte, which is exactly what we want, because it gives you the best primed surface for your makeup. The thing that I hated about eyeshadow was that I couldn't get it to stay, especially on my melanated skin. I couldn't get it to show up in the vibrant way that I could on paint canvases, meaning I wasn't painting canvases with eyeshadow. But when you paint and with acrylic or oil or whatever medium you're using, it stays, it shows up, and that's because that canvas is usually white. And gesso is what's used on a canvas, which would be the equivalent to primer. Okay, so the canvases that you would make yourself, you would gesso, and I've done that as well. Have a godson that gessos every single canvas he makes. He's a professional artist. All right, so I take it all the way into the corner of my eyes, because the corner is where the magic lies to me. We're going to talk about that. We're going to double back with Fenty to hit that corner. Okay, so when you are glowing up, listen, you need to first, I would say, fill a cup. And the cup you need to fill is your ancestors. It's very important for you to pray to, not pray to as in please save me or help me or get me or whatever, but honor the ancestors that came before you, even if you don't know them. If you have no connection to your ancestor, it is so important that you still honor and put out something for them. That's just a high suggestion in my metaphysical world for every guy and girl. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. I'm now going to blend, and you're going to see the ombre happen. So right now you see a pretty harsh line. It looks almost clownish, okay? But we're going to blend so that what we have is this beautiful effect. And I'm not taking it all the way up. I really want that brown to be what you see at the top of my cream concealer for a reason. All right. But I am going to blend it out. And this is why. All right, guys. All the way up to the corner. All right, so you guys see the difference? It's more of an ombre. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's more of an ombre than this is more of a harsh line. So we're gonna now blend this out and do the same thing. So after you've offered something to your ancestor, then it's grind time. That's what I mean, is that it's time for you to start actually getting to the business and the work of doing whatever it is that you are called to do. But do it in silence. That is going to always work out the best for you. When people can project onto you their evil eye, and it's not, I have an evil eye here behind me, right? Listen, guys, this is a protection amulet for evil eye, but what evil eye is, even if it's not just like someone that actually hates you, what it is that people are very terrified, because sometimes they're not living their dreams. Sometimes they're not doing what it is that they're called to. Sometimes they're not going to pursue something in the way that you would do, and so it terrifies them, intimidates them, makes them jealous of you. It all depends on how they're structured, or how grounded they are, or how things are set up in their life. And when that happens, guys, they will send energy that is palpable. And as an empath who works with energy all day, I feel it, not just for myself, but for my clients. They don't realize that they're up against people's unwell wishes, if you will, which is essentially what the evil eye is. It can get more malicious, but it's definitely unwell wishes. That would be the premise of evil eye. And so when you're dealing with that, it can quickly make something that you want to bloom, grow, and blossom die. And that's why I do not want you to, if you are in a glow up season, allow people to see anything that you're doing, because they will try to discourage you, and they will act as though whatever, they will just try to discourage you. You just have no reasons or rhymes as to why they will try to discourage you. But in any case, now we've got that going. Now we're going to move on to the next step. Don't let people discourage you. And they will do that in a myriad of ways. And then you'll be like, how did I get here? How did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. I tried this sharing thing for the last time. Don't do it. I'm going to tell you, you will live to regret it. And things that were almost in your grasp can easily, I'm hearing like this, be blown away. Like we pick a eyelash off and we make a wish. People make wishes on your wishes, okay? And then you're like, how did this disappear and go away? All right, guys. So what I'm gonna move on to is the next step, and this is magic moment. This is my magic moment. I prefer Juvia's Place as my palettes of choice. I have other palettes. I have many palettes, too many palettes probably, but Juvia's Place was made specifically for melanated women. So I don't know if you're melanated or not. I recommend it to everybody. I have an old electric palette from like back in the day from Urban Decay that, oh my gosh, let me see if I have it in here. When I tell you this thing has done its job and held service, but I noticed that they changed the formula after this palette came out. Let's see if I have it in here. They changed the formula after this palette came out, and nothing was the same. Very much like Drake. It was just not the same, and I was disappointed. And I was like, disappointing. Take it back. I don't want it. The first palette was the palette that was like, oh my gosh. I just put stuff in a bag. I have a makeup train that I work out of, but I wanted everything by my desk. So, okay. This palette, it's all scraped up. If you see, it's literally broken. Y'all see the break on top? I'm going to open it. The mirror is like hanging on. Listen, y'all, it's hanging on by a thread. This palette, let's see if I can show it to you without taking the mirror fully off. But let me see if I can find something to put over the mirror. That's always so distracting. This palette, you see how I'm at pan? Oh my God. I loved this palette. It is so loved. Anyway, they changed the formula and they stopped making it, but I held on to it. Urban Decay, so good. They used to be just innovators, and then I don't know what happened, y'all. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I switched to Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place is fantastic because out of all of the makeup brands, they are literally the most reasonable. They are, I don't know how they're so slept on still. I know people use them. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. Maybe I should be gatekeeping. But Juvia's Place is where you want to be for the best. And when I say the best vibrant colors. This palette's very well worn as well, and just loved and used because there is one shade in here that helps my eyes see better views, okay? And helps you see me in a better view when you look at my eyes. And I don't even know what the name of the shade is. I'm not that girl. And actually, it's so funny. It says, art is life. The ambience of the Zulu palette. That's what palette this is. The Zulu palette. The ambience of the Zulu palette is a take on the new character. It exemplifies the rich arts of the Nebel people of South Africa, embodied with colorful symmetry and precision and limitless expression of self through eccentric hues, earth tones, and exotic metallic shades. That exotic metallic shade is what we're about to get into. That's my secret to my eye makeup. There's a couple of secrets. There's three. This, the exotic shade, and the inner eye corner by Fenty. That's what takes my makeup to the next level. So what I do is I open my palette. But another game changer for you, if you are a makeup girly and you like a multiple hue, if you're just a neutral girly, you won't need this. But if you like to have colors, as you saw, I use that electric palette and everything is almost at pan. What you need is a color cleaner. It's a makeup brush cleaner. Which cleans in 3 seconds. It's a color, it washes the color off quickly. It's a quick wash, okay? This is what it is. I bedazzled the outside because, again, aesthetics, that's how I like to live. So I like everything in my makeup kit to make me happy when I look at it. So I put a lot of extra little time and embellishments on it. It won't come like this. It's just going to be a silver Kansas, okay? But you can get it off of Amazon. But when you open it up, it's just a sponge inside, and you see that sponge is very well worn. And what you do is you swirl your eye powder eyeshadow brush on it in between applications, and I'm often doing a multi-eye color ombre similar to my lips, right? We don't see things in 2D. And so what's really important is to clean the brush in between so that you get the sharpest, cleanest, best lines, and you're not muddying your makeup time after time. And this is what makes your eyes pop. So my favorite color, can we tell? Which one, guys? Can we guess on this crazy used dirty palette. It's not dirty, but it's used makeup smudge palette. Which one is my favorite one? It's this rose gold metallic hue, because it's the perfect transition shade from where that brown cream concealer is down into the white. And then when I put on my primary colors, I blend it, and it just seems like it's kissed by unicorn fairy dust, and it's so perfect and so right. That's for me. Here's the thing about this. That shade, it is monochromatic, and it does have a shift. So when you look at it this way, it could look purple, it could look pink, it could look gold, it could look rose gold. And I love that because it plays right into my inner eye corner, which I really like. That gives me the best bold finish and that Fenty magic. However, you will have to find the shade that's right for you if this is something you want to do. You may not be into this. You may be like, girl, I'm a matte girl all day, and I do not like, I'm just a powdered down. I don't want a metallic finish. I don't like it. I will tell you this. When you're older, metallics on older people can age you because it will sit in the fine lines and creases. That's why I wouldn't recommend a metallic for your crow's feet area at all. That's why I do it here, because I have crow's feet just like you. But under here, nothing is wrinkling, and it stays shiny and true, okay? So that's what you want for you. So we're going to swirl our brush in here. I take it, and I just like start in the middle, and I literally buff it in a circle, and then I take it from one side to the next. Because what it does is it hides any bit of that first cast of our primer concealer that we've used. And it gives me the most romantic shift. And it attaches to the cream foundation, so you don't see the brown. But if you were to see this up close, it's hard to see in this light, you would see this gorgeous kind of gold at the top is the color it turns into because it is multifaceted. And then it's rose gold over the white. It's absolutely beautiful, and it keeps my makeup oh so right. That's my first step when I'm starting under my eyes. So I buff it out. Don't use too much, guys. Just a little bit, a little dab here will definitely do you. And I find the less I use, the more magical it is, because then it doesn't look cakey at all. And it's just this like really imperceptible shift. Speaking of imperceptible shifts, you want your glow up to be that, sis. An imperceptible shift. Now, people are going to know that you glowing up. Remember what I said? Wash in between. So now that I've done that metallic, I wouldn't want metallic anywhere else on my eye, except for when I put it in my inner corner, because it will, again, it makes you kind of look a little aged. If a young girl can get away with it, but I've noticed that just for older ladies, and I've listened to a lot of older makeup gurus talk about it, be careful with your metallics. They have a place, but you need to place them, okay? Now, so, since I'm going to be doing neutrals today, I'm going to do pink and purple. So I'm going to start on the outer corner with this like very bold purple. And we're going to go into that. You want your shift to be imperceptible, sis. And what I mean by that is this. Listen, people will have counted you out. And they're going to think, she's not capable of doing this. We don't see it for her. We don't understand how she's going to move into the season, whatever it may be. She's thinking too highly of herself. Last time I saw her, she didn't have her degree. Or last time I saw her, she was pregnant. Or last time I saw her, she was, chasing behind somebody stupid. Whatever the case may be. Also, your eyes are sisters, not twins. This goes for your eye makeup in every way. From your eyebrows, to your eyelashes, to your eyeshadow. If you are going to try to get it to match up, then you must have some Virgo in your chart. I do. But what I got freed from Tati Westbrook, who was a makeup guru on here for many years, is your eye. She may still be, but your eyes are sisters. They're not twins, okay? Each eye is different. One brow is different. One will act up. That's the good brow. One's the evil twin. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Kind of like our titterlings, all right? It's the same thing. They're sisters, not twins. So stop trying to make them be exact and do the best you can with what you got where you're at. Now, when people have seen you last time, they may have seen you down bad. I used to be down bad, but not a bit okay. Isn't that what JT said? Now we're okay. So that's what they're expecting, and that's where they expect to see you at. Well, the reason that I say hermit and go away is because you want your shift to be imperceptible. So when you return, they're like, wait. Now, a person who did this on the interwebs that we just watched recently was one Mr. Nikocado Avocado, who used to be a mukbang king and insane sociopathic narcissist, allegedly. And he disappeared, except he was still loading videos. And I love this strategy because he hid in plain sight. So everyone was talking about him and how he's about to be on the brink of death, and he comes back and he's as skinny as he was when he started. The reason his name was Nikocado Avocado was because when he began, he was a vegan with a bird on his shoulder. And he's returned to his original form. But he did it. Whew, voila, magic. We all thought he was still morbidly obese and struggling and all the things and being kind of having a crash out and a mental breakdown. And instead he came back as a skinny king. That is the way, even though he's insane, that is the idea, which is let him guess. Let him guess about what happened with you, how you came up. How are you now this person, this guru? I once had an experience that I'll share you guys. People will doubt you in this too. Now, the key to your makeup as well. It may look like it's heavy-handed here, but when we take off the slate, you'll see it's not. It's to buff, and then when you think you haven't buffed enough, buff some more. It's not just a tap-on application where there's fallout. You want to rub it in because what we're going for is this perfect blend. And that's a painting technique that I just use, but I watch the makeup gurus do it time and time again. I'm taking this up to my middle of my brow bone where the arch of my eyebrow is, and I've got it nice and buffed out, and it's nice and creamy looking, and there are no harsh lines and all the rest of it. And now I'm going to go in with the pink that I desire on my inner lid. Because this is kind of a rose gold shirt today, I'm going to be using a dusty kind of pink instead of a hot pink. I'm going to use hot pink on my cheeks, though, to bring in my lip. So this is going to be the pink that I'm going to use on my inner corner of my eye. But what do we do first? Tap, tap, tap. Wash, 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 wash. You're not washing anything. You're just swirling and essentially cleaning the bristles and the brushes. And then now apply. So when I talk about an imperceptible shift, when you go away and you are not in the public eye and whatever, and here's the thing, we all live on social media. Our whole life is on social media, right? So even if you're not on social media, somehow you're on social media. So you can disappear. Now, and people will doubt you was the message that I was going to talk about. Once you have become the person, once you're in your glow up, people will start to doubt you. And they're going to be like, oh, well, how did you get this? Well, this is not what I remember about you. This is what I want to remind you of. Now, it's the holiday season, guys. So this memory came up for me that I had completely forgot about as I was getting ready for this lesson. But I was shopping and I was looking for a scarf, a Louis Vuitton scarf that I really wanted, and I found a couple, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna head to the outlets and stores, and I'm gonna see if I can find what I want, and whatever the case may be. But it reminded me of a time when, because that Taurus moon, you guys know where your moon sign is, but for Taurus, if you have any Taurus in your chart, you are predisposed to luxury, okay? You like nice things, you like tactile things. And I had an ex-boyfriend, right? And he, Lord Jesus, I went to visit him years ago, not in any sexual way. We were totally friends. He was married, all that. But I went to visit him. I stayed with him. He was living in Atlanta, and I stayed with him for a little bit as I was on business up there. And he was like, you got to come over. You're going to be my spouse, all that stuff. And so we did that. It was a good time. They knew who I was, all of that. And I remember him coming into the guest room where I was staying. And he was walking around and he was touching my things. And I really believe in having nice, like, luggage and all the rest of it. Again, that Taurus energy is pervasive in all ways for me. And so everything is Venusian. So if it's pretty, I want it. Just like I would bedazzle my makeup washer, I'm going to, and like I said, this color actually is a silver. But I'm going to have everything be lovely. So he remembers me growing up in the projects. We dated when I was, 15. We were in band together, and I was in the projects. And my mom he didn't know my history, but my mom had left an abusive husband, and she was a single mom making it on her own. No government assistance, but we were poor. And so he's touching my very nice luggage, and he's touching my nice scarves and things that were on the bed, and he's smelling my Coco Chanel or whatever I was using at the time. And he's like, where did you get this from? And it was the weirdest thing. I was like, what are you talking about? I bought it. He was like, how? I was like, how do you buy things? We're in your house. How did you get this? Or his condo at the time. How did you get this? And I thought that was such an interesting question. And it was almost accusatory. Like he thought I had stolen it or something, because his brain couldn't compute where I'd come from to where I was. And even then, back then, I still was nowhere, okay? And I'm still growing. Does that make sense? So I will never forget the insolence of his question and the inference that I had stolen something because he couldn't even compute the glow up. Y'all get it? Sometimes you will be in that position where people will be judging you because all they remember is you and the project's you. That was my existence, right? All they will remember is where you came from. All they remember is when they were doing better than you. And in that ex-boyfriend's life, I noticed that he said to me, he would say to me, like, I'm really watching your trajectory. It's really interesting to me. He's a Caucasian guy, just like full transparency. And I don't imagine that he thought that I would be in the places that I ended up going to be, or that I might end up being eventually. And so we had a conversation about that because I would challenge him when we dated. And even though we were friends, I was like, that's interesting that that's where you have me at and that's what you think of me. But that's okay, y'all. That's why the Bible verse exists. God will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies, sis. And sometimes your enemies might be exes. Oh, my in-laws are calling because their parcel has arrived. I'm true to my word, guys. Hold on. I'll have to call you back. I'll have to call you back. All right, guys. I want to be with them on the phone when they open it. So we're going to get through this. We're almost done. We're almost done. I'm sorry that took so long. But people will judge you from what they knew about you and where you were. And they are judging you. I'm tapping, I'm swirling. I'm tapping, I'm swirling. Okay? The tap is specifically, if you're doing it beforehand, is a great place to catch your fallout. Now, this is the third magic trick. So what was the first one, guys? Say it with me, guys. We prime. And then we underline. And then with the underline in both ways, the concealer, but also a shimmer shift powder, a chromatic powder. And now inner eye. Those are my 3 rules of engagement. The 3 crack commandments of that is to get it that way done. Okay. Actually, I don't know if we'll do the full video because I need to call them, because even though I put instructions on it, I don't want them to. I'm so anal about gift opening, so that way everybody has like the most optimal experience. It's the Virgo in me. So, all right. So what I've got out here, I should have showed it to you before I put it in the thing. This is Fenty, and this is called... Oh, gosh, she said the fabulous, adventurous, delicious gift you sent us just arrived. She's waiting for me. Everybody knows my rules. Anyway, this one is called Trophy Wife. I freaking love it. It's a Fenty. It's a Fairy Bomb. She was a fairy. It's Fairy Bomb by Fenty. I don't know if they still carry it or not, but here's the thing about it. If you bought it, you lucked up, Buttercup, forever. The Dollar Tree used to carry a little gold shimmer that I absolutely loved. And this is even better than that. It's milled finer. It's better. And the thing about getting one of these Fairy Bomb powders, if you ever have their chance to get your hands on it, and you're a girl that can stand an inner an inner eye corner highlight, get a Fairy Bomb because it will serve you for the rest of your life. I may very well have this for many years to come because you only need a little bit. Only a little bit, hun, will get it done. And it lasts forever. And the payoff is phantasmagasmic. But this works for my skin color. Not everybody's going to be able to wear a gold like I am on the inner eye. Okay? So, let's see here. All right, so on the inner eye corner. So it's still white if you guys, well, you can't see it now, but it's still very white from where we primed, right? And then I am not buffing. I am going in boldly, tapping, because what I want is, that is the connector for the whole eye look. That's what brings the shift together. That's what gets every flight attendant shook. They're like, sis, your makeup. And I'm like, thank you. Because I pride myself on it being. So before I go to the airport, I'm waking up an extra 2 hours because I want to be pristine. Especially when I'm traveling for days and days and days and have long journeys that take like 14, 15 hours. I need to look that good when I land. That's what I'm trying to be on. Okay? That type of timing. So a bold tap on the inside eye corner. And then I'm bringing it up. You guys notice? Right up a little bit here to join almost to my arch, not covering the original rose gold shift, but just intermingling. They just want to kiss, okay? Just a little kiss. Hey, a little prince kiss. And then I'll go back in with more. Oh, now I have a little fallout. And this is why we would do the foundation last for. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a little bit of literal dust fallout because I was pretty aggressive with that last one. I try to avoid that when I can because what makes it happen is you do sparkle all over in a way that could be a little extra sometimes, okay? I used to have a friend that was like, there's never enough sparkles, sis. Okay. Take it up a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, Mufasa. It's so good. Now, I clean off my brush. And then I go in. And I just make sure that everything is in place. Everything is in place. And it looks fantastic. If there's any to take out, that inner eye corner is good. I clean my brush well. I go back in and I try to roll up towards my eye so we're not ruining my makeup look, the fallout. Now we're going to fix that extra fallout with a little bit of foundation, okay? So I put my residual back. So I always put it in the top. I always keep this part that goes on top of your makeup. And then what I do is I put my makeup in the top of it because it has a little Fenty, you know, holes. It says Fenty Beauty spelled out perforated. I put it back inside. I cover it, and then that's it. So that's how we're doing our eye makeup, right? So I'm going to do a little blush, and I probably will do my lashes off. I was going to do them on here with you. Lashes can be tough for a lot of folks, and maybe that might be a whole tutorial in its own, only because I got to get to my in-laws. So they have 4 kids, and I've got to be there to be there. We're across the country from each other, but be there to have that moment with them. They've been waiting because one present came earlier, and this is a companion present, and it's going to be a whole thing. I sent them a culinary delight. My broski, my brother-in-law, is obsessed with the Christmas Story, and so I was going to send them like a whole duck to do like the whole thing, and I didn't do that because I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna kill me. Alright, so I'm just dabbing a little bit of oil and stuff off my face. He's gonna kill me if I do all of that, like literally with the head cutting off. He would have loved it, but his wife would have killed me. So what I sent was a turducken from Creole Foods Company. That's stuffed with seafood jambalaya. So it's like turkey, chicken, duck, and then stuffed with seafood jambalaya. And I sent like gator bites, and I sent like all this like traditional like pâte à choux, all this stuff, beignets and everything. And I also sent a companion box that has Ovaltine, which is what they had for that dinner. What happened was a dog like ate the turkey or something, and so they had to go to a Chinese restaurant. That was the only place that was open on Christmas. It's a Christmas Story, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, you should. We watch it every Christmas. His whole family's obsessed with it. My husband is too. And they have it with Ovaltine and 5 Spice. So I sent them a little jar of 5 Spice and a Christmas Story puzzle. So they have one box, and they're waiting for the other box, which just came, which now y'all know, spoiler alert, is there. So I cannot wait because the kids are going to lose their mind, and my broski is too. All right, blush time. Your cheeks. Now, I do not have cheekbones like Naomi, girl, so I just make them look like that. So I go in with a pretty intense blusher because I can, as Tabitha Brown says, because it's my business. This is my favorite angled blush brush. That is from Juvia's Place. They have some great brushes, and I just tap it on. Now, what I do is I blend as I tap, blend and tap and blend and tap and tap and blend and I do this over my foundation, but before I put on my powder. Now that's intense, even for me. So we're gonna take that down a notch. I can really see with this mirror again. This mirror is a game changer. Brush and tap and blend and tap. I already pre-dotted my mole. I have an actual mole that grew. It's so funny. I always wanted a Marilyn Monroe mole. And then when I was like a teenager, one actually grew in. If I put makeup on it, you can see the protrusion of it, but it's covered, of course. So I always accentuate it because I was like, oh my God, I have a mole on my face. And I don't want that. I had an Aunt Lati whose face was covered in moles. And I remember meeting her and being like, I just want one of her moles. Be careful what you ask for. I got it. And then I was complaining to my angels, and they said, you asked us for this. And I said, you know what? You never lied. I did. I did. I'll shut up. And so I learned how to love it. So I put on a lot of blusher. So what I'm doing is taking the back of the brush to almost like use it as an eraser to take it down a notch. It's still going to it looks intense here because this is a light you're seeing it in, but I'm also going to put some foundational powder over it. All right. So I did that. Now the only place that I didn't put foundation on was between my eyes. So I'm going to go do that real quick. And then I got to call these kids. Sorry guys, I'm so excited. I am a big kid about a gift. I love giving it more than, and seeing them get it more than anything. So a little bit of foundation, a little bit right in the middle here is where I had not put foundation, and on the top of my forehead. So let's do that. I didn't contour today. We're not going for Vogue. You can contour. Maybe that's another video for another day for some of you guys. I just brush along the top of my eyebrows. No boxy eyebrows. Just very well defined. You see, I'm not using a perfectly sculpted brush to do this. What I'm doing is just making sure that everything is aligned. And also, this is the perfect opportunity with this brush to make sure that I'm covering up that fallout that happened here, as well as just retouching under my eye. And then it's a perfect place to really, like, I kind of just drag this along to make sure that that eyeshadow looks super pristine and super professional. Again, number one comment I get is my eyes. So, perfume and eyes. Ladies, we'll talk about perfume in another video, okay? Super important to your regimen if you're wanting to tap into your Venusian arts. You got to find the perfume that works for you. Again, I will be suggesting some things in my favorite things video coming up here, but you got to find what works for your chemistry, as perfume is all about our pH and our very different chemistries, okay? All right, so that's it. That's it. I will do my lashes off screen so that I can get on with these kiddos. But I will talk to you really quickly about your lashes and then finish up with a quick few words about the glow. Oh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty, guys. That's Mama's ready to go outside. Almost ready, all right? So you see how the sheen to my face. What makes your makeup really last? It's a setting spray, yes. But more importantly than the setting spray is a powder. And to the rescue with branding and theming. I'm a Fenty girl through and through. So I'm using a Fenty powder in Nutmeg. It's her Pro Filter. What I also love about Fenty, while this does not have any SPF in it, the lotion did. So with my MAC of 30 and the Fenty of 15, I believe her Fenty is 15. Oh no, this is 30. This is 30, and then the MAC is 15. So I have SPF 45 on. Everyone needs, even though I said I would sit out in the sun until I was black and blue because I wanted to be chocolate, like deep chocolate. We all need sunscreen now, okay? Take care of your skin, especially as a Keys girl. The reason that I look good is because I wore sunscreen even though I was outside like that. All right, so I take my favorite blusher powder. This is it. I'm dipping in. Remember what I said? Fenty always has their thing marked with the FB. You can see that there, Fenty Beauty. And then I start at the bottom here because I don't mind if there's a little fallout or if there's a little extra. Boom. On my chin. Guys, I have PCOS, and that's what actually got me into makeup as a backstory, because I was dealing with the hyperpigmentation that comes along with having a full ass beard because I do have a full hairy face, and I get laser therapy for it like one does. It started out with electrolysis back in the day, girl, when I was younger, excuse me. That's before the technology was developed. And what I've graduated to is laser therapy, which does work, but when you have PCOS, until you really fix that hormonal stuff, you're not going to get the results. Now, also, spoiler alert for my melanated girlies, you have to ask for the laser specifically that is geared towards people of melanated skin, because there are specific lasers that are made for people with our skin tone, wherein you are able to actually highlight the hair underneath the skin. I was going and getting laser treatments and spending hundreds and thousands of dollars, thousands and thousands of dollars on it before someone here on the YouTube streets told me about it. I went and researched it, then asked, and they're like, oh yeah, we forgot to mention that, but they just wanted my money. So I went to a different spa and got the right laser. So if you are a woman of color, you have to get a special laser, because the laser sometimes for our skin can't pick it up. So I'm just saying. Anyway, so that's what started my journey into makeup, was the fact that I needed to figure out how to work with my hyperpigmentation and how to mask, what was going on my chin, on my chinny chin chins. Okay. And so, nothing, Oh, they just texted me frozen solid. They opened it, guys. Ah, I missed the magic moment with the kiddos. All right, I'm calling now. Okay, so that's the finishing thing. Also with this blush here too, you saw how it was super intense. I erased some of it, but then going over it with this powder helps to mute it. And it's to a way, even though it doesn't look like it to you, you're still seeing it super bright because of the light. But to me, it is fantastic. Actually, when I will go outside today, it's gonna be perfect. Okay, so pretty, such a pretty thing. The last thing, I didn't bring it out here, it is sitting right inside of my makeup chest, is my finisher, which would be the finishing spray. But because I haven't put on my lashes yet, I don't want to do that yet. So I will be doing my lashes off screen, I do believe. Off screen. Well, the kids have opened it already, so let's see. Let's see if we can do lashes here together, guys. And this is the thing about lashes. And lashes, and we'll tie it back into the message. It will be the thing for you that helps you to really accentuate. The thing about lashes is you need to practice your lashes. The thing about lashes is it's not one size fits all. The thing about lashes is you can do them in strips. You can do them in individuals. You can do them in clumps. You can do a half lash like Marilyn Monroe did. I find that to be very pretty, very, very realistic and very pretty. Find the shape that works for you. For me, it's a cat eye. And then you'll know your number by what you do. I like a strip. I also like individuals as well when I have the time. Today I'm going out. It's going to be a strip. So I find brands that work for me. I had a terrible eye infection last year, so I learned my lesson about a reuse lash, which, here's the thing, any makeup girl will tell you the second use is the best use because it just goes on like magic. However, period, I now buy them in bulk because I don't reuse my lashes anymore. So it's new lash every single time. Even when I'm traveling, I always make sure that I bring what I need. So for me, I have my lashes. The tip about lashes is you want to clip them to fit your eye. Lashes are not one size fits all. That's how come some of us look wild. We have lash blindness, all of that. You want to clip your eyelashes. So I trim my eyelash to my eye. I even pluck it. I brush it out with a spoolie to make it a little bit more fluffy so that it seamlessly goes in. They're texting me again. I'm going to have to go. We're going to do another one. Stay tuned if you're interested. If you like this, come back. We'll do lashes together, sis. However, you can see the makeup look. It's looking, okay? It's looking. We started out with a bare face and now we've been cooking out here, sis. So what we're going to do is come back another time because I got to get to my kiddos. It's Christmas time for Ridore. I got to call them. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so excited. This is my favorite part of Christmas. Is this part. Giving is the best part of Christmas. But listen, guys, when you're doing your lashes, it takes time, it takes practice, and I do believe it's a dedicated video that we can just do for that. So I'll come in fully made up, and we'll just work on the lash application and talk about some of the tougher stuff that happens with lashes and some of the best products that I use, the glue, all of that, to get them to do what they do every time. Because that finished lash is where the magic is at. That's the chef kiss to your makeup routine if you really want to know. The eyes have it every time, but the lashes make you glow, glow, glow. Speaking of, it is your season to glow. I want you guys to stay tuned because if this is your first time seeing me and you're a makeup girl and you're like, whatever, come back. I've got a reading for us about what's coming up in the new year. I'll be in some New Year's attire, little festivities, and we are going to do a reading about what's coming up for you. The angels have been downloading the message. I've already got it for you. And we'll talk about how you're going to glow in 2025 and exactly what you need to do. Listen, leave your lipstick emojis, your kissy kisses, your beauty faces, and your hearts below if you liked this message about how you will grow and glow. And also how you will know that whatever they did to you will be directly proportional to the way that you are to glow. So if it felt heavy, sis, if it was a lot, if you were inundated, if you were terrified, if you were bullied, if you were abused, if you were rejected, if you were given the acronym of the designated whatever, and you were less than, this is your season. And the way they treated you is almost like they were putting fuel in for your propulsion. It's time to take off, sis. And we are going to do it together with beauty strategies, with Aphrodite, with Oshun, with a little bit of everybody. But most importantly, with the power that's inside of you, because you were never anybody's designated anything other than the truth. You were the karmic balance. You were the earth angel. You were the demon slayer to the narcissist. And they hated to see you coming, but they're going to hate it more next year, sis. And I can't wait to walk you through what's coming up for you. Stay tuned. Come back. Double back. Let's do that New Year's thing that we're going to do. And we'll continue to evolve together like we always do. So good sharing energy with you guys. Come back next time.